Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to respond to the question by Honourable Bolia. Mr. Speaker, by way of background, in June of 1905, the Nadala land, which is now known as NG2, or Native Ground 2, which consisted of a total area of 15,000 acres, or 6,070 hectares, was acquired by the colonial government from the Mataqali Nadala under the province, the provision of the Land Ordinance at that time at a quit rental of £25. Interestingly, I was just flipping through an AI program just to find out how much that money is of today's value. £25 in 1905 equated to £3,800 as of today, which is approximately 11,000 Fijian dollars, just to give it some context. So the government acquired NG2 by the then governor, and the reason that was provided for the acquisition was that it was going to be one of Fiji's sanatorium. Now that word gives us a meaning of a space where people are going to be treated, people who are terminally ill or have some form of sickness. And around 1905, I think it was just at the backdrop of the great missiles in Fiji and just recovery, quite possibly some other diseases that were around at the time. And so this 15,000 acres was particularly acquired as a sanatorium for the colony, but it also included a forestry area as well as a recreational reserve. Again, on the footnote of this acquisition, there was a desire by the then colonial government to set up an industry for the colony. And the land that was identified, which is the 15,000 acres, was also proposed at the time to be the place where Indian immigrants who came in came in as to work in the cane farms, who were not particularly happy with being in cane farms, but have experience in the past working or planting cocoa and coffee where they came from. So it was also set up to become a place where new industry for cocoa and coffee was going to start from. Mr. Speaker, we are now in 2025. Obviously, we have the great missiles behind us and all the diseases that may have existed in those times. In 2002, there was a decision that was reached by the then cabinet of the government of Fiji, and with meetings and various consultations with the landowners and stakeholders, they agreed that the balance of NG2, or the balance of these 15,000 acres, and when I say the balance, I mean that we're going to take away parts of these 15,000 acres where it is currently being utilized by government, utilized in government stations, agriculture stations, forestry stations. So the balance of it, which was first acquired as a sanatorium place, no longer used for it, was going to be reserved. And that was the decision of the cabinet in 2000, reserved for the original landowners, which of course did not really fit into the picture of when land use is no longer, when land acquired for public purposes are no longer required for the purpose in which was initially acquired, needs to be reverted back to the landowners. In this instance, it was the decision of the Cabinet to reserve it. They could use it, but it will still remain as state land. Now, Mr. Speaker, the subject land has now been fully surveyed, and it is incorporated into Development Plan 11913, and this survey was completed in 2022. And the understanding when we took the paper to Cabinet this year was that the public purpose no longer existed. And when public purpose no longer exists, it's only right that government would return it back to the landowners. And so that has been done. And I, as Minister for Lands, have exercised my powers under Section 8 of the State Lands Act. I have introduced the paper into Cabinet and Cabinet's approval, and we are working on the paperwork, the declaration, as well as the notice that will go in the Gazette with the Office of the Solicitor General. And I have also met with the landowning unit from Nadala, and we are planning to have the day in which this is going to be celebrated with them before the end of the year, before Christmas of this year. On that note, there is a side issue that we are trying also to massage and to make sure that it is resolved with an adjourning land-owning unit over this piece of land. And I'm sure with the help of the Office of the Veteran Vanua, we will be able to overcome that. TLTB, of course, we are working with TLTB, and we would be, as I said, we have given assurance to the landowners of Nadala that before Christmas this year we will finalize all the paperwork that is needed, and we will bring the declaration as well as the Gazette notice to them, and things are going to be returned to them through TLTB, and they will be able to deal with their land as they would want for it to be dealt with, or as they wish.